Helmut Marko has no doubt in his mind. Max Verstappen has played his cards right by sticking with Red Bull for next season. In Marko's eyes, there's no evidence Mercedes will rule the roost when Formula One's new era kicks off. But he did leave the exit door open for the Dutchman, saying that if Red Bull does drop the ball, Verstappen can always reconsider. While Verstappen's deal runs through 2028, his future has been one of the juiciest talking points of the year, with whispers swirling that the Dutchman might swap Red Bull red for Mercedes silver. A cocktail of factors fueled the speculation. Off-track, last year's storm saw team boss Christian Horner accused, and later cleared, of inappropriate behavior toward a staff member. On track, Red Bull's stranglehold loosened as McLaren surged forward, all while the team waved goodbye to two heavy hitters, design mastermind Adrian Newey and sporting director Jonathan Wheatley. The looming spectre of 2026, with its all-new regulations, was another big item on the World Champions checklist. Next season will bring Formula One's most dramatic technical shakeup in history, rewriting not just the car design rulebook, but the engine formula as well. The last time F1 rolled out fresh engines, Mercedes unleashed an era of dominance that lasted 7 straight seasons. Red Bull only broke the streak in year 8, when Verstappen infamously toppled Lewis Hamilton for the crown. Now, the chatter from Brackley suggests Mercedes could be sitting on another potential game-changer. Over at Red Bull, the picture's a bit fuzzier as the team embarks on its first ever in-house F1 engine project, with a little help from Ford. After months of speculation, Verstappen finally slammed the brakes on the rumour mill at the Hungarian Grand Prix, telling reporters point-blank that he'll be a Red Bull driver next season. For me, he said, I've never really said anything about it, because I was just focused on talking to the team about how we can improve our performance, future ideas for next year as well, and that's why I have nothing really to add ever. But I think it's time to basically stop all the rumours, and for me, it's always been quite clear that I was staying anyway. While Marko is pleased to have Verstappen's commitment out in the open, he insists he never truly believed the reigning champion would pack his bags and leave. Marko told F1 Insider, "Max is a very important part of our team. He has achieved all his successes with Red Bull Racing. In his entire Formula One career, he has only driven Red Bull cars. And in addition to his driving skills, he is just an important family member for us. He had a contract until 2028, and there was nothing that spoke against continuing that contract. In his view, Verstappen has made the smart move, especially when no one can say with certainty what the 2026 Formula One shakeup will deliver. I don't know what considerations he made, personally and with his management, but it was clear from his statements that he wanted to stay. Even if the escape clause had come into effect, nobody knows what the situation will be like in 2026. Mercedes declares itself the favourite, but there is no evidence. Also, in terms of chassis, you don't know who will hit the jackpot. There is a lot of uncertainty. From his perspective, it makes much more sense to stay, wait and see. If it turns out next year that we are not competitive, he can always reconsider his decision. Helmut Marko says Red Bull is determined to repay Max Verstappen's loyalty with a far stronger package when Formula One's new era dawns in 2026. After dominating the early years of the ground effect era, the Milton Keynes squad's iron grip on the championship has loosened, and then some. 14 rounds into the current campaign, Marko has all but conceded defeat in Verstappen's title chase. The 4-time world champion finds himself a hefty 97 points behind McLaren's dynamic duo, Lando Norris and Oscar Piastri. Still, Marko has made it clear that the RB22's development will be laser-focused on delivering the firepower the Dutchman needs to fight at the front once again. When media asked him what he thought of Max staying, he said, "It's a big release. The whole team is really enthusiastic to make a better car for him next year." Red Bull faces a step into the unknown by tackling a brand new power unit project with Ford and moving forward without Christian Horner at the helm. Even so, Verstappen is cautiously optimistic about his shot at a 5th driver's crown next season. Speaking to the media, he said, "We had everything really well from the start of the new regulations, and then towards the end, it was a bit of a struggle for us. That is something that we have to figure out why. Why we didn't hit the same kind of progression as maybe some other teams. The Dutchman is looking to channel the spirit of his breakthrough 2021 campaign, when Red Bull finally reeled in Mercedes after years of chasing in the turbo hybrid era. The previous generation of cars, we had the opposite. We were off in the beginning, and then towards the end, we actually made it work. So, sometimes it's also a bit difficult to explain everything. Why or how things are so good or so average. If Red Bull is looking for a way back to the front next year, Max Verstappen might have already found the clue. And no, it's not secret tyre water or magic flexi wings. The reigning champ says McLaren's real weapon is the MCL39's incredible medium corner speed, leaving the rest of the grid playing catch-up. McLaren stormed into the 2025 season as the title favourite after last year's breakthrough, not only put them in the driver's fight, but also delivered their first Constructors' crown since 1998. This year, the Woking squad has doubled down. Between Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris, they've racked up 11 wins in 14 races, including a staggering 7-1-2 finishes. The Constructors' Championship is essentially wrapped up, with McLaren sitting on 559 points to Ferrari's 260. In the drivers' standings, Piastri leads Norris by 9 points, while Norris himself has a comfortable 88-point cushion over Verstappen. For over a year, McLaren's dominance has been shrouded in rumour and intrigue. But according to Verstappen, while McLaren's knack for minimising tyre wear is undeniably part of the story, it's not the full picture. The real ace up their sleeve, he says, is the MCL39's blistering medium corner speed, a trait no other team has been able to match. While proclaiming that McLaren's edge includes superior tyre management, he told the media, "At the same time, I think their medium speed performance is incredible compared to, I would say, everyone else on the grid. The rotation that they have on the front axle without losing the rear is something that is also quite incredible to see, and that's something that we have to try to achieve." Laurent Mekies stepped into the top job at Milton Keynes in July, taking over from Christian Horner after the long-serving team boss was shown the door following 2 decades at the helm of the 6-time Constructors' champions. Now, Mekies admits he's been struck by the mindset of the untouchable and unique Max Verstappen, and in particular, the way the Dutchman approaches Formula One with what he calls an absence of compromise. Speaking on the Inside Track podcast, he said, "You get to know him a little bit better, and you discover everything that is behind what you see on track. And then suddenly you understand, okay, yes, that's how you get to such an unbelievable level." What I mean by that is that we know the on-track level and how unique that is. And then suddenly you discover Max off track, and you discover completely off-the-chart level of commitment and love for the sport, simplicity, and a direct approach to the good moments and the bad moments, and suddenly it becomes very clear that the combination of the two makes it untouchable and unique. There are a lot of fast drivers out there, but it's an unbelievable combination to have that raw talent combined with the absolute love and commitment for the sport, and with all the understanding that he has developed thanks to both aspects. So, did Max Verstappen make the right decision by choosing to stay with Red Bull? You tell me. Share your thoughts in the comments below, and as always, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thanks for watching.